Hello everybody, Sean here from Atomic Productions, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be sitting down and telling you guys a little bit about my G-Fest 2025 experience and showing you some of the figures I got. Now, it's been a very long time since I've made a G-Fest video. The last G-Fest video I think I made was either in 2017 or 2018, but that was not the most recent time that I've been to G-Fest. The last time I went to G-Fest was 2023. For this year. I had originally recorded an intro for this video, but there were some technical difficulties with the sound, so I'm re-recording it a day later, so when we make the transition into the rest of the video in just a second, it's going to be an entirely different setting. It'll be at night, and I'll be an entirely different outfit. But yeah, so what we're going to do here today is I'm just going to tell you guys, at first, the figures that I got, and I'm going to show you them. My personal relationship with them and how much I'm spent for them, if I can remember the prices correctly. And then afterwards, I'm just going to kind of walk you through each day of G-Fest, and just kind of tell you about my weekend in Chicago. Honestly, it's not going to be anything crazy. It's just going to be kind of a chill video, for me to kind of tell you guys about stuff. Now, if you want to see more about my G-Fest experience, I seriously recommend you follow my Instagram, which will be linked below, but also is linked in the bio of the channel itself, so I definitely recommend that you check that out. I'm also going to be mentioning my girlfriend a few times. She was there with me this year. I also seriously recommend you check out her Instagram, which will also be linked below. On top of that, let's see here. No, I think that's about it. Just make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already and you want to see more content like this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's jump straight into it. Alright, see ya. Okay, so when it comes to G-Fest 2025, I was there with my girlfriend, and it was her first G-Fest and my fourth. I haven't been to G-Fest since 2023, to which I didn't make a video about my experience in my haul at that time. Because it was a rough period of time for me when it came to uploading videos, so I didn't get around to it. But when it came to this G-Fest and the things that I picked up, I got five figures, all of which I love very dearly so far. And 5 is a very normal number, I feel like, to pick up. I usually go to G-Fest with about a budget, and this is just purely the budget when it comes to buying figures, usually around $200, $250. Not a lot, but it's enough for me to get some things that I like, and I can go home happy. I'm not necessarily one of those guys that'll go to G-Fest, drop $3,000, $4,000 on some really high-end Godzilla stuff. Do I respect the hell out of that? Yes, absolutely. I love seeing people fully indulging in the things that they love. But is that me? No, at least not right now. You know what I mean? But I do love the 5 figures that I got. So I'm going to go in order of in order of which ones I got. And this is a new formula for a lot of you, I'm sure, because the last G-Fest video I made was 2017. So I'm going to go through the figures in the order that I got them, and I'm also going to tell you how much I paid for them. I can't remember. I'm not familiar enough with the vendors to tell you which specific tables I got them from, but I'm giving you enough, I think. So the first 2 I actually got together, and they were both $40. At least I'm pretty sure they were both $40. They might have both been $45. No, they were both $40. Is the Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla 2001, the GMK Goji, and also Ghidorah 2001. So I got them both. It's a matching set, and these are the new ones. These have just come out very, very recently. I think in the past year, maybe the past 2 years. I'll let you take a look at Godzilla while I'm talking. But yeah, no, I have GMK Godzillas here in the collection. But not ones that I love, for real. I have a Bandai one from a couple years ago that isn't too great in terms of sculpt, and then I have the NECA figure that has such abysmal paint decals that I never even took them out of the box. You know, and am I looking forward to the Haya figure? Yes, but I'm not even sure if I'm going to get that or not. So this was a nice medium where, I mean, it's pretty accurate to the film suit for not a horrible price. I'm very happy with this. And it's also very similar to like the 8-inch Bandai one that came out a long time ago. But I'm not going to pick that up. And then in terms of the GMK Ghidorah, I had a Bandai GMK Ghidorah. I think it was Bandai Creations when I was a kid, when I was growing up. But that figure has since been lost and broken and stuff like that. And for the longest time, I really wanted the 8-inch scale Bandai one. But that's just a very expensive figure. And then recently, like this 2000 Goji, they released the sculpt of the figure. And it's based on the sculpt of that old Bandai figure. So, I mean, can't figure a lot. I figured, why not pick this up with the same Godzilla? I'm bumping the microphone a lot. I hope that's not like interfering with the audio. Why not get them both? Because they both go together very nicely. I'm looking forward to Bandai releasing a Baragon and Mothra to go with these two. I'm not positive if they will or not, but I hope that they will, because I think that would be very cool. Up next, I got... technically this was a gift to me by my lovely girlfriend. I'm also going to put her Instagram down below so you can check out her art and some of her stuff. And I think you guys will especially want to do that after you see her cosplay. But she got this landing stage Hedorah for me, or one of the landing stages. This is when he like stands upright and starts huffing the smoke stacks. But yeah, no, landing stage Hedorah. I was looking at this one and one other one that was like the crawling one, and I was like, you know what, this one's my favorite. I think there's an incredible sculpt of Hedorah. This one also came out semi-recently, I think about 2, maybe 3 years ago. Love this figure. This guy was $50. This is a funny story, if I'm getting this correct. When I got the Ghidorah that I just showed you guys, it was a different one. It was the same figure, but it was a different individual. And I didn't really like the necks. I didn't really like the way that the necks were shaped. You know, they were semi-deformed, and the heads were kind of looking weird. There really wasn't anything wrong with the figure. It was just me being very picky. But if I'm spending $45, $40 for a Bandai figure, and there's options, I'm gonna get the one I like the most. So I was going back to that table to actually exchange the Ghidorah for an exact same Ghidorah, so I could get one that I liked more. The table that I was getting it from was very sussed out by that, but I'm very thankful that they let me do that. But then when I came back, because me and my girlfriend had split off at this point, I pulled up, and she saw me eyeing the Hedorah, and she picked it up for me, unbeknownst to me. She's very sneaky. This is not the first time that she's done something like that for me. Yeah, no, excellent Hedorah. I'm very happy to have it, because so far it's now my favorite Hedorah that I have in the collection. Speaking of Hedorahs, the next figure I got would be the flying stage, kind of UFO Hedorah. I can't remember. All of these purchases were made on the second day. By the way, I cannot remember for the life of me if I got this guy on the second or third day. I think it was the third day. This was the third day. The morning before we left, I picked up the flying Hedorah because I don't have the SH Monster or its Hedorah, so I don't have a UFO flying Hedorah. So this is kick-ass, man. Hedorah is one of my favorite kaiju. And it's also one of my favorite movies. Godzilla vs. Hedorah is one of my favorite movies. In the franchise, I mean, not just one of my favorite movies overall. But that was also $50. I'm damn near positive. If it wasn't 50, it was 45. It was within that realm. But at this point, I'm very happy. And I still got some money left. And I'm not too sure where to go next with my purchases. Because, you know, as I've gotten older, my collection has kind of gotten to the point where I'm really happy with it. There's not too much left for me at G-Fest where I'm like, oh, I need this, oh, I need this, oh, I need this. And also, you get older, your value for money gets stronger. So, you know, I was kind of hesitant. I was like, I don't really, you know, I was looking at the Bandai Movie Monster Series, Godzilla 1984, and the 1964. These two I was looking at, and I wanted them, I have one of them for some time. But, you know, I going up to vendors, picking up the figure, being like, how much is this? And hearing the prices, I wasn't really sold, so I couldn't really commit. But one last figure I saw, and I was like, you know what, why not? I believe he was 35. He's the Movie Monster series. Come here. Burning Godzilla. Okay. And this I can absolutely justify as a purchase because I really need card protectors for these tags. Because I don't have a Burning Godzilla. Now, like the Ghidorah that I mentioned earlier, I had a Burning Godzilla. It was a Bandai Creations figure as well when I was a kid. But like the Ghidorah, that has since been lost or broken or something like that. It's been years. Now, one of the kaiju that I have most, that wrong hand, that you can see in the background, you can't see the figures, but that's the Godzilla shelf in the background. I have lots of Destroyas. I have an aggregate Destroya, and I have two different adult, like perfect form Destroyas, but what I do not have is a Burning Godzilla, so this guy is going to look great next to my many Destroyas. I think that's awesome. So, when it comes to figures, that is the haul. It's not crazy by any metric, but I'm very, very, very happy with it. I think it's great. I'm very pleased. Okay, let's talk experience. Let's talk experience. This was my favorite G-Fest yet. So like I said, this was my fourth one, and this would have been my girlfriend's first. And, you know, and being my fourth, I'm relatively familiar with the G-Fest environment, but not nearly as familiar as people who go yearly. You know what I mean? Like I said, my last one was 2023. The one before that was like 2018. So I don't go crazy frequently. But, you know, so we get there. The drive to Chicago is about 5 to 6 hours for us. We get there and, you know, it's 3 or 4 o'clock Friday, which would be the first day of G-Fest. Now, this is something that I'm probably going to change in the future. Getting there in the mid, you know, afternoon on the first day, and stuff at G-Fest closes down at like 7 to 8 o'clock. So there's not a lot of time left. That will be different from now on. I will be showing up either a lot earlier or staying the night before, like I've seen a lot of people doing. All of this to say, we get there Friday evening, very, very tired from the drive. So all we do really on the first day is grab our badges, take a nap, and then check out the dealer's room. And I actually got lost trying to find the dealer's room because I didn't know that it was in a different location. So I was looking for it, and that's where we found the Artist Alley, I think it was called. Very, very cool space. Got to interact with Matt Frank a little bit. But yeah, the dealer's room was not in the place that it used to be, so I was like, okay, what the hell's going on? And then we found it, we got our badges and stuff like that. We took a look around. I didn't buy anything. Alyssa, my girlfriend, she bought some little crustacean, like, pen holders from this table. Very, very cool stuff, if you know what I'm talking about, because you were there. Yeah, they were really cool. Really cool guy. But I didn't get anything the first day. That was really it. We grabbed the badges. We kind of looked around, went upstairs. We both took a nap. Then around 7 p.m. was the opening ceremony, which I came back downstairs while she stayed in the hotel room sleeping, because we stayed at the Hyatt, which is an incredible hotel, by the way. She was up there sleeping. I went down to the opening ceremony. Kind of an underwhelming opening ceremony. Usually, I feel like they're a lot more involved, but this time they were just kind of like, oh, here are our guests. Peace out. And I was like, okay. But the cool thing about the opening ceremony is after it was over, I went out into the hallway and saw Ben Furuya, the original actor for Ultraman, who was one of the guests there, taking pictures and videos with fans out in the hallway, and I thought that was really, really cool. I wanted to seize the opportunity to meet him myself and get a picture with him, but I did not, because I saw a lot of people who were significantly younger than me and significantly stronger Ultraman fans than I, seizing that moment themselves, and I thought it was a lot more important for them to get that opportunity than me. But I did take videos of the whole thing. Very, very cool stuff. I loved see it. But that was the end of the first day. The second day we woke up, we went to the Field Museum, which was a few miles southeast into the further end of the city, actually in like the heart of the city. You know, not necessarily part of the G-Fest experience, at least not specifically the G-Fest experience, but if you're visiting Chicago and you've never been to the Field Museum, absolutely visit it. It's so cool, especially, you know, I'm assuming if you're going to G-Fest, you're also going to be interested in dinosaurs and stuff like that, like I am. Absolutely check it out if you get the chance. It's really, really cool stuff. So that took a huge chunk of our day, though, because we were there for a few hours. And then we got back, changed into our cosplays. I was Dr. Serizawa. Alyssa was Gigan, at least specifically Final Wars modified Gigan, or upgraded Gigan. And, you know, this was her first G-Fest, not her first convention. She's no stranger to cosplays, and you can probably tell that from the craftsmanship and creativity with her outfit. But she was a little nervous, wondering whether or not people were really going to be interested in Gigan. I assured her that people would be, and I'm very happy to say that people were eating it up. I've never felt so involved with the convention before, because all the times before, I never cosplayed or did anything like that. I just went to G-Fest, wandered around, bought some stuff, went home. This time, people were asking for pictures of me and with my girlfriend, all that stuff. People were, we were relating with other cosplayers. We were talking in, who would have thought that dressing up as a character from a Godzilla movie at a Godzilla convention would be much of a conversation starter. But all of this to say, second day really consisted of us just wandering around and kind of aura farming at G-Fest and getting pictures with people. It was a great time. And also all of the stuff that I showed you that I bought. Great night. Didn't go to any panels for real or any shows or anything like that. We just kind of existed in the space and we're taking it all in, which I'm perfectly fine with. Usually I'm all into the panels and discussion things and all that stuff, but really, it being Alyssa's first time, I'm happy with just wandering around and interacting with people, because that's the main thing I feel like I'm there for. Beyond the guests of the franchise, talking to other Godzilla fans in the amount that there are there at G-Fest, you never get that anywhere else. So it was an awesome experience. But that was the second day. The third day, unfortunately, I'm keeping up the pattern that I've kept up with my other three. We had to leave before noon in order to get home on time. Very sad. Next time around, it will not be the same. I'm definitely going to stay for the rest of the third day because I want to be more involved. I want to hang out with people. But third day, we woke up, went downstairs, checked out some stuff, bought a few things, interacted with other fans and stuff like that, and then we were kind of out. You know what I mean? Not a lot going on the third day. But it was still a great time. So that being said, I didn't get any autographs or any pictures with any guests, unfortunately. But I did get a lot of pictures with other cosplayers and other fans, and I feel like that's just as valuable, if not more. Overall, great experience. I had a blast. I cannot guarantee whether or not I will be going in 2026, but I would really like to. For me, it really comes down to whether or not. It depends on who's going in terms of guests of the franchise and stuff like that. Even though, which is crazy to say because I went this year and didn't even really interact with any of them ever. But that is definitely an incentive still. But if I don't go next year, I will absolutely be there the year after. It just depends on the specifics of the convention, what's going on there. And also my, my financial situation, time and everything. There's a lot of variables there. However, you guys will be the first to find out if I am going, and I know I'm going. But with that being said, this is just kind of like a one-off video. There's not a lot going on here. I'm just kind of telling you guys about what G-Fest was like, showing you pictures, showing you the figures I got. It was a great time. Thank you to all of the people who came up to us while we were there and, talked to us or took pictures with us. That was awesome. If you were there and you hadn't gotten the chance to interact with me, go ahead and leave your G-Fest experience in the comments. I would love to hear about it. Really, I would love to hear about it. and talk about it with you guys. Yeah, that's it, really. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you got to this part, thank you especially. Consider, once again, liking and subscribing if you have not already, and be sure to check out the description or my channel bio for me and Alyssa's Instagrams if you want to see pictures from the convention or stuff like that. So, that being said, I've been Sean from Atomic Productions. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please take it easy. See ya.